This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let's start today's session. In the last session of REST API, we just discussed about introduction to REST API. And in this session, I'm going to start with examples of REST API. Already, we just create a project with a name called My REST project that I'm going to open now. So first, we have to create a new project. And after that, we have to install REST API, Django REST framework. We discussed already in the last session how to install Django REST framework after creating project. We just simply go to terminal window and pip space install space Django REST framework you can type. That's all. So that's going to be installed. Now I'm going to create one simple API here. Okay, so before going to create simple API, you can check once whether application has installed under your project or not. And also you included REST underscore framework application inside the installed apps or not, we have to check. First, let's check that. Let's open our project. To open our project, go to File menu of PyCharm editor. Go to Open. In C drive, like on desktop, I create your project. Go to desktop C drive, like users, Lenovo. And what's your project name? On desktop is there. Your project name is My REST project. So this is your project name. Yesterday I created. Let's open it. And even we have added application also into this project, that is REST app. Look at here in the left hand side, your project name is My REST project. Your application name is REST app. How we create Django project and application, same thing here. But make sure that you have to be installed REST framework here. How to install? Yesterday I discussed already. Go to terminal and pip space install space Django REST framework. You have to install like this. Already I have installed, no need to install again. After installation of completion, then you have to go to settings.py of your project. So in this settings.py of your project, you can include your application here. And also you have to include REST underscore framework here. REST underscore framework I included into under installed apps. Okay. So this is next step. We have to create one simple API now. Okay. How REST API will be performed and how it will be create and how it will be render, which format it is going to render, you will get clear idea. First, I have to go to model, sir. This is very simple. Uh, what things we will do generally using Django, same thing we have to do in REST API also. Let's go to models under your application. Okay. Here I'm going to create one model called employees model. Class name is employees. Model start. You know in Django how to create a model. Okay. So this is the way to create a model class. Class name is employees. Model start model. Here I'm creating employee ID. Employee ID equals to model start integer fields. Model start integer field. Employee name equals to model start char field. Employee address equals to model start char field. Employee mail. Email equals to model start email field, like this. And you can see here I'm giving max length equals to 20 for ename. Max length equals to 20. E-address max length equals to 20. And email field max length equals to 30. This is model creation, simple model creation, you know that. Let's register into admin panel. So I'm including this model into admin panel. From your application name is REST app dot models. What model I have to include? Employees model. Normally I'm going to include this not in model form. Normally I'm registering directly admin dot site dot register of your model is employees. If include this normal way, then it will display every record is considered as one employee object. That object I want to represent into name through. To represent every model instance in Django admin panel in the string format, if you want to represent, then we can go for string function. It's a Python function. I want to return self dot ename. So every record I want to display with employee name only, employee name. Through I want to display every record. Return self dot ename. Okay. I have registered into admin panel. Okay. Next, immediately we have to go to make migrations and migrate, create super user and log into admin panel, insert some records. Then I have to read that records using API. I'll show you. Now, first let's go to terminal window, make migrations and migrate. Python space manage.py, make migrations. Okay. Now created model, employees model. Next, what I'm trying to do, Python space manage.py, migrate. Now migration is over. Next, create one super user here. Super user I'm creating. Because to log in as an admin person, Python space manage.py, create super user. So I'm giving super user name is Mohan. Email is mohan@gmail.com. Password is MOHAL. Again, password is MOHAL. And I'm bypassing that. Yes. So super user created. Run server. Python space manage.py, run server. So you will be able to join into admin panel once we have user ID and password. Now let's hit this link. We are joining admin panel here. Now let's go to admin panel. And in this admin panel, I'm trying to use this login user ID and password. Mohan and Mohan. I call login. Let's create Now we can see REST app is our application name here, and employees is a table name. So here I have to add some employees. Later I have to retrieve this employee records from here to there. ID number 101. Employee name is Sai. Employee address is HYD. Mail ID is this one I'm taking. Save and another. Employee ID is 102. Employee name is Durga. Address. Like this. Save and another. Employee ID is 103. Employee name is Rajesh. Employee address is Hyderabad. Employee name is, what is that? 7. We have few records. So only 3 records are there. Now you can see 3 records I'm having here. Because I represent this employee records into string format only. So that's what it's coming here, display into string format only. Okay. If you want to represent in table format, we can change into admin panel. You know how to change admin panel. Model form we can create. List display also we can create. Later I will do it. It's not a matter. Now I want to retrieve the data from admin panel like database to user. That is API through I have to access. How to create API to Z. Generally in Django, what we did, whatever the data is there in database, that we retrieve, and that after retrieval, we are rendering that into template only. So here template is not there, no? So we have not created any template that you can observe, sir. Without template, I am rendering this all employee details into user, that is API format, like JSON format only. How to render this data, we will see now. Okay. So there is a concept called in Python, in REST API, serializers are there. What is serializers? We will discuss now. So serializers concept is there. Serialization and deserialization is important in REST API context. So serializers. What is serializers here? Serializers allow complex data. Okay. Serializers allow complex data such as what is complex data? Query sets. Query sets means your database object, and model instances. Model instances means your database records. Model instances. Query set means every when we retrieve the data. Okay, suppose we are writing in the view section emp equals to employees dot objects dot all we use. In Django, many times I use this method. This is called query set object. This query set object is having how many records? All records are coming from employees model. This is query set object. So serializers allow complex data. What is complex data? Such as query sets. Query set means this is. Or model instances means every model record. One record like this. Here, every model record means this is one record. This is one record. This is one record. These 3 are instances. So you know that in Django, every record is considered as one object only. So how many instances are there? 3 instances are there. That 3 instances are called model instances. So serializers concept allow complex data such as query sets and model instances, okay, to be converted to native Python data types, to be converted into native Python data types. It will converted into native Python data types that can then these can be easily rendered into JSON format or XML format, or other content types also we can able to render other content types. In the previous session, we discussed clearly. In the REST API especially, whenever we are retrieving the data from database, that data is rendered into the client location in the JSON format or XML format. because JSON or XML format is an open standard format. Okay. So serializers concept allow complex data such as query sets and model instances to be converted into native Python data types. Then that will be easily rendered into JSON format or other content types. This is serialization. Serializers also provide deserializations. Yes, sir. Serializers concept will provide deserialization also. What is deserialization? We'll see. Serializers also provides deserialization. Deserialization. Serializers also provide deserialization. That is allowing parsed data, means converted data, parsed data to be converted back into complex type. Parsed data to be converted back into complex type. Simple, sir. Complex type. Serialization means whatever the model instances are there, like database objects, are converted into Python native data types that easily rendered into JSON format to the client only. But deserialization means we are converting Python data type back into JSON format, JSON into complex type only. Simple logic, I'll tell you. Serialization means this is. In REST API, most of the cases we use serialization and deserialization concept only. Serialization and deserialization. Serialization and deserialization. Simply you can observe serialization means complex data. Complex data means model instances or database records will be converted into Python data types. These Python data types easily rendered into JSON format. This is serialization. Deserialization means what you know? This is. Okay, deserialization means this is. Python data types, JSON representation, and converted back into what actually? Complex data, reverse order. This is only logic, sir, exactly. In throughout REST API, we are going to do serialization and deserialization only. Complex data like model instances converted into Python native types. Python data types means like list, dictionary set, and so on. And that will be easily rendered into JSON format. JSON means open standard format. Every client can understand JSON format only, any application, because in REST API mainly we are communicating with the different types of application. All the application understanding format is JSON and XML. Same deserialization means Python data types. If you are using Python language, Python data types. If you are using other language, other data types. It will be converted into JSON because open standard format, and it is converted back into complex data type relevant to your data base what we are using, SQL type, Oracle type, like this. So this is serialization and deserialization. Now, right now we are using what you know. Already we have a data with us, that is complex data. Complex data, where it is there? At database level. Look at here, database level, complex data is there. This is model instances. I want to retrieve this model instances into where? Client. So how to do it? Serialization. So complex data model instances will convert into Python types. Python types easily render into JSON type. So this I'm going to do that. This I'm going to do. So this if you want to do, then what we need to do? Just observe here. Generally in Django, template language we use, no? In Django, template language we use, ETL, to convert that database data into display to the template, like the client location. We use template language. So now coming to this, here we are using JSON format. Let's try to create one serializer.py here. So serializer.py is compulsory, we have to create. To convert model data into JSON format, then we use serialization. Serializers, why we use, sir? To convert model data into JSON format. Then we can go for serializers. So let's create one serializers.py file. So right now into your project or into your application, we have to add a new file with the name called serializers.py. The name serializers.py is not compulsory, but better to give the proper name. So let's add one new Python file under your application, that is REST app. Let's right click on REST app, go to new Python file. I'm selecting, give the name is serializers.py. Serializers.py. This file is having completely serializer deserialization code only. It will be there in this form, in this py file. So now we have already, this is related to completely REST framework, sir. It's not related to Django framework. So in serializers.py, first I have to import from REST framework. This REST framework already included or no? Where I have included, now you can see in the settings.py of your project, already I have included REST framework. If you don't include this one, you cannot able to work with REST API libraries. So compulsory it is required. So let's go for REST framework, import serializers. Okay, next I'm going to convert our model instances. Which model instances you are converting, that model you have to import. Model is coming from your application, that is REST app is your application name. REST app is your application name. Dot models, what model is there? Employees model is there. Now let's create serializer class. Class emp serializer. emp serializer. Okay, it's my class name, employee class serializer name. Now this serializer is inherited from serializers is a library name. Dot model serializer is there. You know that model forms means what? In Django, forms based on its model only. So here also what I'm creating serializer class based on its model. So what model based on serializer class we have to prepare? So I'm creating my own serializer class like emp serializer because our model name is employee. So meaningful name I'm giving. This should be inherited from serializers is a module name or library name dot model serializer. So this serializer class should understand that what model instances are coming. So I have to include what's our class meta class. In this meta class, generally we have to represent model. Model equals to what model is there? Employees model. And fields equals to what? Actually all. Fields equals to all I have to use. That's also. Your serializer class is ready. EMP serializer class is ready, sir. Okay. When we place mouse pointer, so it is showing some warning. That's not a reformat the file. No problem. Yeah, we are reformatting the file. Again, here also, it is saying like warning. Okay, class name should be used camel case conventions generally. Camel case convention means if your class name is 2 words, let's go for starting letter is capital and next word starting letter is capital. This is warning. Okay, you can avoid. So EMP serializer is my class name, sir. Okay. So serializer class is ready, which represent this model instances into JSON format clearly. Now coming to this, here we have to render these values into our browser. How to render this? First, we have to set the URL. But we don't have any URLs under the REST app. So let's create one urls.py under the REST app also. Go to new and Python file in the REST app urls.py I'm taking. urls.py. So here from django dot urls import path from REST app is your application name dot what views will come. Now you can see views URL section is there. But do you have any views, sir? No view is there. Okay, first let me create a view first. After that, we will set the URL. Let's go to view section under the API. Now simple view I'm creating, sir. Okay, so how to create a view in the sense? So here I'm going to use API view class. Our view should be inherited from API view only. So API view is coming from where? REST framework. So how to include that API view from REST framework? Okay, REST framework dot views import API view is there. You can see this. This is REST framework view only. API means application programming interface. Okay, this is view. It's a built-in class which is coming from REST framework only. So strictly remember, sir, if you want to do this practical implementation, especially Django REST framework, so this REST framework you have to install it. Otherwise, you cannot able to use this one, and you cannot able to use this one. After that, I have to include what model also here. From which model? REST app models. Which model is there? Employees model. After that, we have to who will take the model instances, render into JSON format, serializers.py. Serializers.py class, the employee serializer class is responsible to take model instances and it will render into JSON format clearly. So that's the reason in the view section. Now we can see here I'm taking from REST app. From REST app, your application is having serializers. Serializers import what class we have? Serializer class, EMP serializer class. So now we can see in view section, we are taking employee serializer class, which we created, employees model, which we have API view also creating, because I want to render the model instances into JSON format by using API view. Our class based view is inherited from API view only. Let's create here view. So I am working with class based view here. Class EMP details is my view name, and this should be inherited from what actually? API view. This is inherited from API view. Now class-based view generally contain what actually here? Okay, let's give the name EMP space details. So meaningful name I'm giving. EMP details. So now coming to this class-based view is having functions. What functions? Get function, post function like this. Now here I'm taking get. Those who know about class-based views of Django, they will understand this concept clearly. So already we discussed in the Django case class-based view also. So I'm taking get method self comma request object. I'm taking request is a one parameter. So now we can see query set object is EMP employees dot sorry EMP equals to employees. Employees is your model name dot objects dot all. So this is query set object. Complex type or not? This is complex type. Complex type converting into Python types only. So for that, we have a serializer object you have to create. Serializer object. It's an object name. You can take any name here. This serializer object is inherited from where? We are creating object for what class? EMP serializer class. Because EMP serializer class only will have the model instances. That for this class, I'm supplying this model instance query set only. So how to supply this query set? EMP. And now you can see many equals to true I'm taking. Many equals to true means what actually? Here many equals to true means all records I want to include. So serializer equals to EMP serializer of EMP comma many equal to true. This is okay. Serializer equals to EMP serializer EMP comma many equal to true, sir. Many equal to true means multiple records are coming. I want to return the response here. What response? Serializer response. But look at here. This is not a Django response. It is a serializer response. So REST framework response. REST framework response purpose. I'm taking REST framework dot response import response. So this response I'm using. Now you can see response. Response I'm giving serializer dot data only. Serializer is a employee serializer class object. Dot data means what data is there? That is JSON data only by default. This JSON data will be rendered. But this is class-based view. No, this class-based view. Okay, this class-based view is having get and post method also. But here post method, if I include in this class-based view also, I'm not going to use any post method right now. Why? Because post method means we are supplying the data from our front end to back end application, but we are doing only reading. Means object data is coming from database and using employee serializer class through. I'm converting complex type this query set object complex type to normal Python data types. Python data types easily render into JSON format by using the serializer object dot data only. This data is JSON format only completely. How JSON format it look like? Now you will see this. Okay. So we are going to make URLs now. So from our application, now you can see from REST app import views. Now I'm creating URL path. Sorry, URL patterns. We have to include URL patterns equals to. Now you can see path I'm giving. I'm not giving any name. So let's views dot what view is there? EMP details view is there here. Okay, this is EMP details. So this is what EMP details, but this is what view class based view. You know, you can say view section. What is EMP details? Class based view. Class based view declaration in URL. This is not the way. As view function is required or not. If it is class based view, compulsory as view function is required. So now this time you can see we can include this application level URLs into project level URLs. You know how to include application level URLs into project level URLs. Now coming to this, I'm including project level URLs. To include that, we have to use what actually include. Then let's path. After that, I'm not giving any name. So simply what actually I'm including my project level URLs, application level URLs. What is your application level URLs name, sir? REST app URLs, dot URLs. That's all. Matter is over, sir. Now let's go and check out step by step what I'm doing now. What I did now so far, I'll explain here. Okay. Today this is enough, sir. Note, I'm not going to explain more about this because you will get confused. So this is enough today. But I will give clarity what is going to happen now this time here. First, what I did, sir, simple. I create a model. Look at here, model. You know how to create model in Django. Employees model is my model name. Okay, let's reformat. Model is created. This is employee model class. Okay, now model fields, how many are there? Employee ID, employee name, employee address, employee mail. And this string method I am taking because I want to represent my each and every model instance with employee name only in admin panel. That's what employee name only it is representing. Now after that, I have included this model into admin.py. You know, if you want to manage your models into admin.py, so we have to register admin.site.register employees. After that, what I did, I have done make migrations and migrate automatically employees table created in admin panel. I created super user. I joined into super user account by using admin, and I have included 3 records. Each record is available like this only. Now records are there in database. These are called model instances. And these model instances are what type actually? Complex type only. So now you can see serializer concept is including here. So serializer concept is what it will do. It allow complex data such as query sets and model instances to be converted into native Python types. Then that will be easily rendered into JSON format or other content types only. Serializers will also provide deserialization mechanism. That means what? It allowing parsed data, means already rendered data to be converted back into complex type again. So what you understand finally here, serialization and deserialization are part of the REST API. Serialization means converting complex data types like model instances, query set object into Python data types. Python data types can be easily rendered into JSON type. And deserialization means we have already Python data types with us, like dictionary, list, set, tuple, that we can convert into JSON format. JSON can convert it back easily into complex type, that is model instances or query set object again. So this is from Python to database records, from front end to back end. This is database records to client only. See here, this is client to database. This is database to client only. Reverse order. First, we are doing what? Database to client we are doing. So database means model instances. We are taking that data and Python data types I'm converting. Now you can see JSON format. For this purpose, I created one serializers.py file. So this serializers.py file I created here. In this serializers.py file, I included serializers library, which is coming from REST framework. And also for which model, you want to create serializer class. Now you can see serializer class I need to create for model class. What model? Employee model. So I created my serializer class with meaningful name EMP serializer, which is inherited from serializer's module dot model serializer. I'm using meta class and I'm assigning this model to this serializer class fields equals to all. So this EMP serializer is going to responsible to convert database model instances into Python fields easily converted then into JSON format. So who will responsible to do this? View is responsible. So we have written view also here. View is the Python logic. You know that very well. So I have created a view here. Employee details view is there. But to create view on the top, I included many libraries here. What libraries I included? You can see one is API view. It's a basic class-based view only, which is coming from where REST framework only. And response object I am getting from REST framework. It is not a HTTP response, it is a REST framework response. How we use Django response, same like this. Here response is there, belongs to a REST framework response. And after that, REST app dot models employees model, because for this model only I have to convert into normal JSON format. REST app dot serializers, we have EMP serializer class also there. This EMP serializer class only will take model instances from database and convert them to JSON format. So here we have a class-based view, EMP details, which is inherited from API view. And generally class-based view is having get method, post method. Get means to get the database record, post means to post the data into database. We are doing right now database records, we are reading and render into client only. But look at here, get method. Inside the get method, I have query set object. This is EMP. Employees dot objects dot all only. This is actually Python type action. This is employee EMP query set object is always in which format? Dictionary format only. Query set object. EMP equals to employees dot objects dot all. This EMP query set object I'm passing to which class? Employee serializer class. Here, what is serializer? It's an object of employee serializer class. So this employee serializer class will collect the query set object from database. Who will give this query set object to employee serializer class object? EMP details class based view will give. So this is going to return as a response data format. What data it is? JSON data only. Look at here now. We don't have any template right now. Generally in Django, if you want to bring the data from database, we will render into template only. But do you have any template now? No template. Now let's run this server. Now you can see this is JSON format. Now you can see Django REST framework. Admin person is Mohan. Employee details. Now you can see employee details. So here you can see application type is what type you can see. Content type is application slash JSON type only. This is JSON format. Now this model instance type is converted into JSON format. JSON format generally we look into inside the square bracket, inside the curly brackets. Now you can see this is JSON format. Model instances are coming. Got my point? Yes. When we click on employee details, this employee details available here only clearly. Later, if you want to do post to the record, you can able to post the record here also. Now you can see posting the records. This we can manage with template also. How to manage with a template? JSON renderer methods are there that we'll discuss in tomorrow's session clearly, so that you'll understand. If I go for more details, again you will get confused. In simple way, today what I included, just how to bring model instances, that's query set object data into JSON format. Who will bring means serializer class will bring. Okay, so this is JSON formats are clearly you can see JSON. And there are methods are there, get method, post method, head method, options method. You will understand this all slowly one by one clearly. So this is our logic now. In this case, our serializers class will act important role here. Serializers.py. This serializer start. First request goes to where, sir? Django project level URLs. In this project level URLs, what I included? Any URL name? No. So REST app.urls it will go. Let's go to application level URLs it will go. Next, in the application level URLs, what it will call? Views. What we will call EMP details view. So in the view section, it will execute view only, EMP details view, which is inherited from API. immediately get method will execute. So for what request? Current request. Who sent request? Client only. So get method will bring the details from employees model and stored into EMP only. Okay. Suppose if you want to know what is this EMP, then inside this, what we can say, print EMP I'm trying. Okay, print EMP. So let's try to do this. What is EMP? What format it is there? Okay, and print type of EMP, type of EMP, type of EMP. Let's try to run this so that you will get clarity. Control C, run server. Once I run server, now you will get same details, but I want to notice in the terminal window what is type of EMP. I want to know that. So let's go to terminal window. Now you can see, is there any terminal window type? Type is displayed? No type is displayed because that is not in normal type. So just to give me 1 second. This is class-based view. It is going to be return response. Once return response, it is not going to holding anywhere. So I want to print this. How I can print? Let's cut this. And here I want to, let's start the server. Let's close everything, freshly making. Now reloading the server. Now go to here. Now you can see this is what actually query set object only. This is okay. What type it is? Query set type. Django.db model query set only. Now you can see employee objects type is there, query set type is there. This is actually each and every object is available in what format, you know, object format means Python type format. This Python type is going to be converted into which format? JSON format. Who will do that JSON format? This will do that. Serializer object, employee serializer, EMP. This query set object I'm passing as a parameter, as a value input. This input is converted into JSON format, represent this serializer start data. So finally, after returning, if you want to know that print type of, here I'm going to print type of serializer. Just give me a second. Print type of serializer dot data, and we are returning response. Okay, let's try to reload it so that you'll understand what type it is. Let's reload this server. Let's hit this run. We are getting the data here and go to terminal window. Now observe here clearly. This is query set type, query set type. This is REST framework dot utilities dot serializers dot helpers returns list only. This is list type, return list type. This will be converted into JSON format type only here. Serializer is an object, employee serializer related. These values will be converted into rendering into by default JSON format clearly. So this is serializer dot data. Okay. And type is what actually? REST framework utility type. This is only JSON format here. But here directly JSON format converting internally, but you want to understand clearly what JSON format, how it will be convert manually, everything. In the next session, we'll discuss without writing this simple code. We will make somewhat complex operations so that you will get clearly step by step what is going to happen here. So JSON to Python type to JSON type, converted back. We can do it serialization and deserialization mechanism. Both I can do. I can include in the same application so that you'll understand. So this is the concept. Same Django pattern only, no changes, but only one thing is required. Serializer.py, you have to write it. But if you want to test your API also, how API is going to work, that API also we can able to test by using test.py is there here. This test.py is there for API testing only. You can create your test cases here. In tomorrow's session, I'll write test cases also, how our API is working, whether it is working properly or not, we'll discuss in detail. So this is first API creation and getting the data from database into JSON format clearly. Okay, even this JSON data we can render into templates also. That also I'll include. But today's session, there is no templates available here. but we are rendering directly as a response only. REST framework response only I'm giving, that is in JSON format. So Django REST framework window is opening. Okay. From there also we can post the details and insert, update, put, patch, partial update, fully update, all these things we can do it. So yesterday I sent recorded video, REST API 1 video, and also REST API complete documentation. You can download the videos, and today video also you will receive by today evening. Okay.